Entertainment Group. We're here today for a very special occasion, the holidays. So from my office to yours, from Diamond Pieces to you, happy holidays. We're here actually to do a launch on our TV show. It's a new talk show. It's exciting. It is being released on the holidays. The name of the show, the talk show, and you'll be meeting my special guest, is The Silent Touch. The Silent Touch is a TV show that I chose to produce due to the nature of the content, okay? This time of the year, holidays, it's hustle and bustle, and you're meeting your family, but there's something about the silent touch. You have to sit at the table with your brothers and sisters and family members, but what if, the big question is, what if one of your family members touched you in a silent touch? And every weekend or every holiday and every birthday, you have to go back to your family members and they're wondering what's wrong with you. Why can't you smile? You run off to the room. You want to be isolated. Well, that's exactly what happens at the family holidays or at the family celebrations. Everybody's happy but you. But today we're going to have a special guest. Very excited to have this type of talk show TV launched called The Silent Touch. So I'm Vivian Majors. I'm the CEO of Diamond Pieces Entertainment. I've been in the industry for some time, looking for digital content, great stories. So if you have a story that you're afraid to tell, and you have been in this situation, even in the entertainment industry, you guys, I'm telling you the truth. It's people are touched in wrong ways, or children show signs. We look it over. And back in the day, we call it old school, you had to hush. But today, we found someone, I found a story that I'd like to bring to you live called The Silent Touch. Thank you. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Hi, I'm Vivian, the CEO of Diamond Pieces Entertainment. This time we're back. I have an awesome guest. It's an honor to be able to have someone like this on the show that is excited about her talk show. Every time I speak to her, she's excited. Get a little negative, but we get the positive well. I'm encouraged today, and I want you to be encouraged as well. As we're celebrating the holiday, wherever you're from, hello everybody, Facebook Live, Vivian, they're live. How are you? Say hello to your guests.
Hello,
well, we're having a great time today. It's an awesome weekend. This is a reason to be jolly, and in this particular interview, I'm going to introduce and I'm going to open up the floor to Vivian. Vivian, thank you for coming. How are you?
Fine, how are you? Thanks, Vivian.
Wow, we've been going back and forth.
Yes,
you know,
we have. Yes, we have.
Yeah, you got to Atlanta. You had a lot of great time. You had a lot of great people when you got to Atlanta, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I actually came to Atlanta for one reason. But when I got here, I found that God had another reason for me. So I'm so excited about what's going on today. Being able to produce my show and meet some new people and make some new connects and really get things to going here. I am so excited about the new project, The Silent Touch. Just God beginning to use me to help those that have been molested and abused. So this is so dear to me. This is my heart. This is my passion. This is something I've been holding on for a long time, and I'm glad that I'm in my birthing process. Just being able to see it manifest, this means so much to me. This means so much to me.
It is. You know, this has happened, you guys, a lot. And where I'm from, and we're maybe old school, you know, they push it under the rug. Grandma says, shh. You know, even the person that is the molester, they give you things like, Vivian, what did they say? You know, I mean, you've been through this. What were some of the things that they said to you? I mean, when we were small, it's like, you tell, I'll kill you. You know, that's kind of scary for a child. What age did this happen? I mean, tell us about the age that it happened. And tell us a little bit about the silent touch and how it felt for you around the holiday.
Okay. Well, my silent touch happened around the age of 8 or 9, around the 3rd or 4th grade. And my silent touch, I held on to it for a long time, and I know there's others out there that are still wounded, that are still holding on to pain. And with this, I just want to be able to touch people during this holiday season because it was so dear to me, because I've always said that I hate the holidays.
Wow.
And a lot of people didn't understand why I would hate the holidays.
Yes.
And I hated the holidays because I would have to see my predators or the ones that molested me. I don't want to say predator. I want to say the ones that molested me, because it was so dear to my heart, you know. And when a person has not been through this, it's hard for other people to understand. When other family members have not been touched, you know, it's hard for them to understand. They want to say, well, just get over it, or, you know, go on with your life, or just sweep it under the rug. But for some people, it's not that easy. And when a person has to carry around hidden wounds and hidden pains during the holiday season, that's almost like a death to somebody. You know, they hate to see that season come around because, you know, I have to face this once again. You know, I have to go to grandmother's house once again, or I have to revisit that pain again. So, yeah, this is why this is dear.
Yeah, a lot of times, you know, going to your parents' house, you know, grandma's house is like, for me, you know, grandma's house is where I can let loose, I can have fun. You know, that was supposed to be a safe place for you.
Exactly.
It was supposed to be a safe place for you, Vivian.
Yes.
And obviously it wasn't.
Yes.
But grandma's house was where you can let loose. But there was also that one place. I mean, how did they get you isolated, Vivian? Tell us the signs of a molestation. You know, tell us what the signs are, so that I can know that my granddaughter or my son has been touched. I mean, tell us where they took you, how they isolated you, and how they stopped you from speaking like you're speaking today.
Okay, well, to know the signs exactly is kind of hard to pinpoint, but when you notice that someone's trying to lure you some type of way, or get very nice, or trying to get you off to yourself, or, well, mine, I was actually sleeping in a bedroom on one occasion, so that was an unexpected thing. So when a child is in another bedroom sleep, you know, that's hard for them to be able to protect themselves if no one else is around. And then, like the other incident, you know, that was an isolated point to where you're riding a mini bike off into the woods, and you think it's a fun adventure at grandma's house, but there again, there's something set up for me, you know, once I'm on the mini bike with this particular uncle. So with everyone is kind of different to know what the signs would be, but most of the signs I would say is to always watch the looks of who's ever watching you, or if they're trying to lure you away, or the sweet things they may say to you that makes you uncomfortable, or maybe the uncomfortable touch that someone may give you. And the very key thing is too, is only 10% that are strangers, but the other % are people that you know. So it may be also, you know, a mother, a father, or a sister, or a brother, or uncle, or a boyfriend, or somebody. It's going to be most of the time somebody very close that has done this. So,
and you know, it's kind of like it is, you know, your family is just somebody you grew up with, you know. You had to go to bed with, you had to get up in the morning and eat breakfast with. And you know, it's really funny because the parents, you know, say, close the door, go to bed, you know, I don't want to hear any noise, you know, but, and another thing about it, Vivian, is tell me about what did they say to you to keep you from talking? I mean, even today, as we're producing this show, there's been some people who don't want this to, there's encouragers, there's haters, there's people. So we're looking at two things here. We're looking at the person that's been abused and the person that has that abusing spirit. And that's who we want to talk to today. So I want you to say something to the person in the back of their mind that's watching that little girl. What do you have to say to somebody that's ready to do a silent touch? And we're not attacking you, but there is help. You know, we want to know that there's healing in this story. There's a bad part, but we're introducing the sad part first. But Vivian does have a happy story. So there's some joy that we're going to talk about today. But right now, I would like for you to say something to a person that could be watching this. If you're thinking about it, this is the result. Long-term result. It does hurt somebody for life. But there is something that they do get healed, and they will tell the story. So Vivian, what was it that made them tell you to be quiet? I mean, what were those words that put you in a state of fear that you wouldn't tell?
Well, with one particular uncle, it was, you better not tell or you would get in trouble. So me being a little girl, that was threatening to me, because I felt like I would get in trouble. If my mother and father found out, I was the one in trouble. With the particular other uncle, it was never told to me not to tell, but because of the previous molestation.
Oh, so this was a repeated?
The previous molestation, it was still embedded within my head and within my mind. You better not tell or you would be in trouble. But I still told. But I would say to someone that may have that in their mind, to answer your question, Vivian, or your statement, I would say to that person, think about long term. Because the minute that you touch that person or you violate that person's rights as a human being or as a child, that's something that may affect them for long term. And it can take them all kinds of areas in their life. Some can't ever get over it. Some, it leads them to prostitution. Some, it leads to strip clubs. Some, it leads to maybe turning homosexual. And I'm not actually pointing anything out that in that way. What I'm saying is there's a number of different ways that it affects a person. It can drive a woman to hate a man for the rest of her life. So there's always kinds of ways. And we're not just talking about women here. We're also talking about men, because there's so many men that have this silent touch, and they haven't told anyone, and it's a secret that they have to hold for the rest of their life, because they feel like, how is someone going to look at me differently if I disclosed what just happened to me? So this is so important also.
Very great topic, very great topic. Men, you got to tell. Men don't tell, and that's the sad part about it. It's like, is it a pride thing? But what I like to do is I like to kind of get back on topic. Vivian, due to your touch, it actually birthed a television talk show.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit more about the vision, mission of your program, your TV show. We are going to be casting you guys. We will be looking for stories to bring on live. So tell me, what inspired you to do this talk show TV show?
Well, what inspired me the most is...
This is happy for you. It's a happy moment for you.
Yes, it's a very happy moment.
Yes,
I've always wanted to be a speaker or be able to speak about different things. And like I said, in the year 2005 or 2009, somewhere in that area is when I heard the silent touch. I heard God speak to me, the silent touch, and I knew that I would become a speaker. So this is an area that I saw how it affected me with all the negative cycles that happened in my life.
How did it affect you?
Well, it went from child molestation, facing a lot of family rejection, because I did try to tell. So that caused a lot of family rejection. And from that, it transitioned over to domestic violence. So that was another area of abuse. And then I went through the spiritual abuse. So there's a lot of different cycles that happened in my life that if I can, as the silent touch, prevent others from going through some of these same cycles, if I can do a preventive program, or bring some counselors on board, some therapists on board, some clergy on board, be able to take these. I've also written a curriculum, and this curriculum is called the Love Factor, because what happens is you have to love yourself back again to your normal self. And if you don't love yourself, then you'll find yourself venturing off into doing other things that you don't want to do. So finding yourself back beautiful again, because what it done for me is I felt so ugly. And even as an adult at the age that I am now, I still have to dress up myself like Miss Princess, making myself feel this way. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. But sometimes deep down inside, I don't feel that way. But I know the feeling that others feel. So I want to be able to help them to transition to their highest potential. Because sometimes when our self-esteem gets low, we won't go to our highest potential. Now I think I'm getting ready to operate in my highest potential, and I thank God for this. And so I want to help someone else make their dream come true.
Because of that, let's find out how we get in touch with Vivian. Okay, This is really important. Get your pens and pencils out. Thumbs up. Give me some likes. Give me some loves. Give me some smiley faces. Give us something here. But we're going to find out how we get in touch with Vivian. Vivian, how do we get in touch with you? How can your people get in touch with you? How can people tell their stories? First of all, it is confidential. She does keep it confidential. There's ways to get in contact with you. Let everybody know how to get in contact with you if they're interested, if in the up-and-coming TV shows where we'll be airing. How do we get in touch with you?
Well, the way to get in touch with me, like she said, there will be confidentiality forms signed and waivers signed. My email address is thesilentTouch@hotmail.com. My Facebook, I am Vivian Rorie on Facebook, and then I actually have a Silent Touch public figure page that I'm also building. I do have an Instagram, but it's not Silent Touch as of yet, but I am going to be turning that into the Silent Touch. And I also have created a YouTube channel for some of the testimonies to come through. That's not up and running, but it is set up. So there are avenues, more avenues while I'm setting everything up, and there's a website coming soon also. So I'm in the building process of building my brand and everything like that. So we are, my number one spot to find me is on Facebook, and my email, thesilentTouch@hotmail.com.
Let's give them a phone number. Let's get your phones ringing. That way she's very personable. We don't have to go through the media to get to her. So because we're doing this live today, and if you're here today, you can also call me at 770-875-3277. My email is script, and I'll spell that for you to avoid any errors. It's script is an SCRIPT, the number 2, SCRN@hotmail.com. The name of my company is Diamond Pieces Entertainment. I'm a movie and film consulting agency. Again, let me give you Vivian's number. This show is hers. We're going to be supporting her. Vivian, give your phone number again. How can they contact you?
My phone number is 704-698-6168. Again, my number is 704-698-6168. If I don't pick up, please leave a message, and I will return your call as soon as possible.
Great. Well, we're going to take a break here, you guys, a small break. We're going to be right back. Please get on the phone, get on Facebook. Let somebody know that we are live today on this holiday season, bringing you much joy, peace, and happiness, and some great content, okay? So we're developing the Soft Touch television show series. We want to welcome her to Silent Touch. I'm sorry, I keep doing that. You're right. She needs to say that more. Give us the name of your show again.
The Silent Touch.
Say it all together, you guys. The Silent Touch. Be looking for it in a network TV near you soon. Thank you.
Welcome everyone to the Silent Touch. My name is Vivian Rorie, and I'd like to welcome you all back for the second part of the Silent Touch. In this session, we're going to talk a little bit about my journey. And my journey is going to entail a lot about how I was able to heal, how I went through my silent touch, and the actual things that actually took place during this silent touch. I want to take you on a little journey because sometimes it's hard for those who have not faced the silent touch. They just can't understand. So I want to walk you through a little bit about what actually happened to me. And I warn to some of you all that it may become a little graphic. It may be a little itching to your ears that you may not understand, but I have to be able to help others to see exactly what's going on when someone is being touched, what it done to me. So we're talking about the year around about 1977, 1976, when I was actually in the 4th or 5th grade. And I used to go to grandmother's house, and this was during the era to when mothers and fathers had to go to work, and they had to leave the kids at grandma's house. So this is what you would call the safe place. Grandmother's house is always supposed to be the safe haven. So one particular day, I didn't get played with some of my aunts and some of my sisters and things like that. I was chosen that day not to be played with. So I'm thinking I'm okay. So I go back into the house and I begin to lay down into a bedroom. And in this bedroom, I went to sleep. And going to sleep, I woke up to feel someone on top of me. And that violated me. And this, I would say as a little girl, it felt very, very bad. It felt very sad, because who, as a little girl, wants to wake up with someone on the back of them, hunching them? And it hurt me so bad, because I actually tried to run away from him, and he left the room. Once he did his little thing there and I kind of fought myself off, he went outside to work with my grandpa, and I actually ran to my grandmother's bedroom, to the bathroom, thinking I could find safety there, only to find him still looking at me and still watching me. And so I didn't know at the time whether or not to run out the bathroom or stay in the bathroom and lock myself in. So at this time, when I tried to go up the hallway, he actually pushed me back down the hallway onto my grandmother's bed. And this is the time when he actually put his hands over my mouth, telling me, "You better not tell. Tell me you love me. Tell me you love me." As a little girl, you don't know nothing else to say but what your molester's saying. So I said, I love you, thinking that would help get him off of me. But it didn't. He still continued to push me down on my grandmother's bed. And I felt so dirty. I felt so nasty. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to, all I knew is I was in trouble. And he said, "You better not tell, or you will be the one in trouble." So this is what is in my mind at this time, that I'm going to be the one that's in trouble. So I went up the hallway and I sat there in one spot, because I didn't know how to handle this. And my mother and father was still at work, and my aunts and uncles, some of them was still outside playing. And he came up the hallway, and he began to ask for alcohol. But I didn't know the reason for the alcohol. But the reason for the alcohol was because, it's getting ready to get a little graphic, his penis was torn, and he had to wipe himself from the blood where he had just violated me. And so everyone knew that grandmother had kept rubbing alcohol, because this is what she used all the time on her face and on her head. She kept rubbing alcohol around all the time. So this particular day, when I went home, my mother asked me, she said, "Vivian, what have you been doing today?" And then this time I was going to my other grandmother's house, my mom's house, and I said, "Oh, I've been just playing today." But I didn't think that my mom washed clothes every single day. And so I didn't know my mom was actually looking at my underwear. She said, "Vivian, what have you been doing today?" My words were, "I've been playing kickball outside." Kickball with who? And I mentioned my aunts and all of them. And so she said, "Where did this come from?" And then I began to cry as a little girl, because I knew she knew. I thought I was in trouble, because she saw the blood on my underwear. All in my heart and my mind, I began to cry, because I thought I was in trouble and I couldn't tell her. So I told her who had just done this to me and what had happened. But my mom and dad told me they were going to take care of it, but still to this day, I don't know. I think it was taken care of. They told me it was taken care of, but going back to grandmother's house for them to go to work again, he tried to pin me again and say, "I'm going to get you again, so you try to tell on me." So, but that time I escaped. But then at my other grandmother's house, I used to watch my other uncle watch me. And this is why I tell everybody, watch those who are watching you. And I thought I was safe there. But he would actually come in sometimes from work, getting off work, and I would be laying on the bed talking to my aunt, having fun, and, you know, kind of feeling safe, telling her some of my secrets and things like that. And so one particular day, I had noticed like he would come in the bedroom sometime when we would be on the bed or whatever, but you know, I'm thinking, you know, maybe this is okay here at this grandmother's house. But one particular day he had a moped or a mini bike, and all the kids were going to ride on the mini bike, and then it became my time. So what happened was when he rode on the mini bike, my time to ride on the mini bike, there was a certain path that we all had to take. And not knowing at that age again that I was getting ready to be molested one more time. And while I was on the mini bike, there was a towel already laid there for me. And there was an old tire or something. I remember that so vividly right now. There was a towel that was laid there. And so he said, get off the bike. And I thought to myself, off the bike for what? As a little girl. He said, get off the bike. So I got off the bike and I said to myself as a little girl, not again. So as the nieces, my cousins, and all my cousins began to holler and said, what are you doing? What are you doing? He said, well, I had a flat tire. We got a flat tire. So they're all still little. They're believing the lie that there's a flat tire. So as he laid me down on the ground, and here I go again. And it's kind of hard to talk about. Here I go again. And with this, I didn't know. I knew what was happening, that the same thing happening to me again, but also, you know, me seeing him ejaculate in me. And as a little girl, all I remember seeing is the white cream coming out. And I said to myself, oh my gosh, what is this stuff? This is nasty. What is this? But I remember seeing it, and I remember what it looked like. And when I got up from it, I felt so dirty. I felt so nasty. It was the worst feeling that I could ever have in my life. It was the most humiliating feeling that anybody could ever carry in their life. And so when we got back, all the cousins was around, but nobody knew what had happened. So I was still trying to hide it, and I kind of like ran in the house. And one of the cousins said to me, you have a leaf on your head. And so I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to know. So I went inside with my other aunt, and I kind of tip-tapped around it. She still didn't know, and I didn't know if it was right for me to tell her then or not, but I knew I began to wash or whatever. But this stayed with me for a long time. But I did tell my parents. And with me beginning to tell my parents, you know, and I know it was their brothers. It was my father's brother, and it was my mom's brother. And this why is so dear to me, because, you know, it was in the family. And I felt like I wanted more protection, you know, and we talked about it several times, and they said, well, Vivian, we're sorry that's happened to you. But sometimes I'm sorry that's happened to you. It's not enough. You know, when your child is suffering, you know, sometimes that's not enough, you know, when your child is laying in the bed at night and they're still having to go through those things. That's still not enough, because I remember rocking myself as a baby, as a little girl, holding a little girl inside of me, rocking myself to sleep to find my comfort, because I needed protection. I needed somebody to tell me it was okay. But then I had to watch them on certain holidays. Say during the summertime, I would get flashbacks because it happened in the summertime. Every time a summer will come around, or I see something come across the TV, it's another flashback of what just happened to me. And then to be called crazy, or what's wrong with her, you know, but and getting ulcers in my stomach because this thing is still affecting me as a child. Trying to find help. Me going to United Way, trying to find counselors or somebody I can tell to just get this out. And you know, it hurt also to be able to go through school and teachers not even be able to notice me, that I was hurting on the inside. I'm having to go through school with a fake smile on my face, but I'm hurting all in the inside, and my grades coming down, and my reading was bad, because it wasn't because I was a dumb child, because I love to read now. But it was because of the setback that happened on the inside of me that caused the reading impediment. But going through high school, transitioning from middle school to high school, is when the demons still kept coming after me. And then it's when I felt like contemplating suicide. I thought about so many times to kill myself, just do away with it, just just get out of here, just leave, just be away, because I didn't want to face another cookout of them celebrating no uncle. I didn't want to hear another conversation on the phone with the uncle like it was okay and they were best friends and they just violated my daughter. Everything was laughing, ha, ha, ha. But I was the one still hurting. I was the one still hurting. And that's what I'm saying. There's so many that are still hurting when people just want to sweep it under the rug like it's not happening. And this is still happening today. People are being affected by this. This has caused anxiety in my life. It had caused depression in my life. All the emotional scars in my life. All these things in my life. But if it wasn't for God delivering me, where would I be right now? This almost drove me crazy. But with the help of God, this is where I met God in my bedroom. And I began to write. And I began to listen to the things he would begin to tell me, because that was my comfort place in my bedroom. That became my sacred place, my secret haven to get some things out of me. And I would hate to go to bed at night sometimes because I knew the demons were coming to me at night. They were coming at night. I couldn't sleep. And still to this day, at the age I am right now, I still have sleeping problems sometimes. Because I still think someone's looking at me, or someone's watching me, or someone's going to come to the door. Or if I hear a little noise, am I going to be okay? Is somebody going to invade my privacy again? So this is so very real. This is so very real. So after the 12th grade is when I went to Atlanta, actually following a boyfriend to college, because I began to look for love in all the wrong places. But all in all, I was actually getting away from North Carolina, where all the abuse happened at. I just wanted to get away. Whatever was my ticket out, that's the way I was taking. So I only was able to stay for a year because math was my weakness at DeVry University. So I had to come back. So then I began to get into men a little bit more, and I got a sugar daddy. And I thought that was love. I didn't know what love was because I didn't really get that love I needed from my father. So I tried to find love somewhere or protection somewhere, and he made me feel like a queen, so he got me anything I want. See, I thought that was love when you just buy me what I want or give me what I want when I want it, you know, but that wasn't love either. So, and then other boyfriends transitioned in and things like that, and then also I began to I met another guy that I went to school with, and we got married. So this is when domestic violence became into play. And so I was seeing signs during the the dating. This is kind of hard to talk about. I started seeing signs of maybe being picked up and slammed down on the bed sometimes, and just verbally saying things. And this is when I began to learn about pressure points and things on my legs, and you know, I would have bruises on my legs sometimes, and you know, him maybe taking my arm, twisting it maybe sometimes, you know, things like that. And that became very hurting. I remember calling for help sometimes. I never called my parents about it, but I did call some aunts and uncles about it a couple of times, or some things that was going on. And I called my mother-in-law a couple of times, and you know, things like that. But you know, I thought that maybe he would change, you know, or you know, sometimes we as women, we say, well, it's just like this now, and maybe it will change. No, that's not always the case. It doesn't always change. Sometimes it gets a little worse. But all at the same time, with it getting worse, I was actually, I would say in a sense, forced to marry, because I was already the outcast in the family because what had happened to me. So then I became pregnant with my son. And with me being pregnant, they told me, you know, you're going to have to do something. What are y'all going to do? What's the plan? So, you know, in a sense, I forced them to marry me because I had to find somewhere to go. You know, I had to do something. I'm pregnant with a child. I have to do something, you know, and so I kind of pressured him to marry me, even though I know what was already happening behind the scenes that nobody else knew about. A couple of them knew about it, well, they thought it would be okay. See, that's the thing about the silent touch. Some people can know about it, and they'll go along right on with it, but because they have been through the same thing, they say it's okay for you to go through the same thing also because I went through it also. So with me going through my domestic violence situation, all kinds of things begin to happen. Some things financially, infidelity in so many ways, and all of this. And so that became very hurting to me because I just told you about my whole life. So why are you bringing this to me in my life when I just told you I've been abused, sexually abused? You know, when you're a woman and you feel like you can trust somebody with your information, sometimes you can't trust everybody with your information because sometimes men will use the information you give them to use it against you. So this is a situation to where I was married and I have my 4 beautiful children. I love them to death by this man. And so a lot took place within this marriage. A lot took place within this marriage. And so domestic abuse took place, and then it transitioned into spiritual abuse. And with the spiritual abuse, they were actually in-laws also to me. They were my husband's brother and his sister-in-law. And so I'm putting my trust in them also, thinking that they would take care of my heart and take care of my being, my soul. But I end up getting manipulated into a situation to where I became spiritual abused. And what I mean by that is the word of God being turned around to fit them. A lot of verbal abuse, a lot of sermons coming across the pulpit, maybe demeaning me or downgrading me, or saying things like, you're no good mother, or God can't use you, or you would never be nothing in life, or you married the wrong man, you so stupid for marrying the wrong man, and all kinds of things. And then, you know, a lot of witchcraft being involved, and, you know, it's a very long story. You know, nooses being hung in my trees, pennies being thrown down, cemetery rocks, you name it. It was all kinds of stuff that was going on. And even in the church house, saying we're seeing angels in the church and chanting things around candles and all kinds of things. And I was in this for 11 years. But God delivered me. I was in Atlanta in 2009 to 2011. God delivered me. And I really believe this week or yesterday when I came to Atlanta for one reason and God turned it around. I know that this is deliverance for me because I came back to the place where my life was taken. I came back to the place to take back my stuff, what was taken from me. And I tell the devil today, I come to take it all back, 100-fold back. I come to take back everything because this is who I am now, because God transformed my life to become a TV and radio host, a speaker, to help those that's been abused through child molestation. I was once a victim of homelessness. I slept in my car a couple of days and stayed in a homeless shelter in Winston-Salem when I was trying to get away from my abuser. Also, domestic violence. There's a lot of different things that I had to transition to get to where I am right now. And for anyone to say that they're jealous or anything like that, if you can't go through the fire and the flood, you have to be a warrior when God is getting ready to take you somewhere. You have to be a warrior to get to where he's trying to take you to. I had to trust God. I had to believe God. Didn't nobody give me anything. All of this comes with the hard work that I've been building over the years that God has given me. And I thank God for what he's doing right now. And to him be all the glory for the people that he's placing in my life. For the people he's surrounded me with to love. The love that I felt this morning, I wouldn't even go to church anymore. I stopped going to church because I didn't trust church. But this morning, God delivered me in such a way like never before, to love on him again for what he's getting ready to do in my life, to be able to help these people. And I praise God for what he's getting ready to do, because no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
It may form, but it will not prosper, because this is my victory season. I am in my Jubilee season, and I come to take it all back. But I tell you all, I thank you all so much for joining the Silent Touch television series, upcoming television series and radio series. Getting ready to speak to the nations, getting ready to help heal and deliver wounded people. This is what this is about. It's not about me, but it's about the purpose and the plan that he had from the foundation of my mother's womb. And thank you all so much for joining, and we hope to see you soon.